Now, this video has been requested about 3, maybe 4 weeks ago, and the subscriber wanted to know what is the reason behind many chosen ones experiencing some attempts on their lives. Why do some people want to get them out of the way? Now, I understand my videos, when you want me to talk about the subject, I may not know all the things you want me to say, but I can give you some information which sometimes might be triggering. So as much as you want to know the truth, you also need to understand that you might get triggered. That is because sometimes the truth is too unbelievable and very difficult to comprehend. Now, there's a very wealthy man. Many years ago, we're talking about 2000, probably early 2000s or so, something like that. And I will not mention the country because I know some people on these channels, they know which country I'm talking about, okay? And this wealthy man was involved in a human sacrifice. So this wealthy man got one of his engineers, I think the main engineers, in a very big building they was trying to build. And this particular engineer went ahead and they kidnapped or stole a child. And this child was used for some rituals. So the child was sacrificed, and when they were starting this building, because this particular wealthy man was involved in some kind of an occult, so this was some kind of witchcraft. And these people, these entities, told this person, if you want this building or this project to succeed, they needed human blood. The engineer went ahead, they kidnapped, he got a small team, and they kidnapped a small kid. They sacrificed this kid, and this kid, the body of this kid was actually buried in the foundation of that particular building. Then the building went ahead and it was completed. A couple of years later, an investigation was set up. I don't know how it happened, but I think one of the people that was involved in that ritual started speaking, okay? He blew the trumpet, and eventually the engineer was arrested. As we're talking, that particular engineer is still rotting in prison. In this video, we are going to talk about human sacrifice and why do some individuals tend to sacrifice some people for their own benefit. In most case scenarios, they are trying to sacrifice the chosen one. Grand rising, everyone. Hope you guys are okay. Hope you're doing well, and I hope everything is going as planned. This is nikymus, and you're welcome to the channel of truth, enlightenment, freedom, and the channel of breaking empires free. If you are new on this channel, I talk about narcissism and narcissistic abuse. I talk about spirituality. I talk about personal and self-development. And if that's what resonates with you, I invite you guys to join us, give us a like, share this video with friends, and you may subscribe if you haven't already. And for those that have always been with us, you are welcome back, and I thank you for your love and support. Trigger warning. The video might be triggering, okay? And the content might be a little bit intense. So if you're not ready for the truth, then I recommend you skip the video, maybe save it for later. You'll come back and watch the video when you're ready. My chosen ones. All the videos I do, I'm sharing with you guys, empaths, chosen ones, spiritually gifted people. I'm sharing with you guys real information. This is aimed at helping you break free, and break out of bondage so that you can be able to live your best lives. Go ahead and do the things you came here to do. Now, we're talking about families which are involved in occultism, families which maybe sometimes be involved in witchcraft. There may be also sometimes different types of very dark practices. In those kind of families, the chances are 99% that there is going to be born a member in that family that you might want to call the black sheep of the family. That individual is the chosen one. Remember, first of all, let me even say this before we go ahead. If you ever identify, if you have woken up one day and realized your parents, the family that you're involved with, maybe family members or whatever, there is a particular dark practice that is going on in that particular unit. It may be sometimes even narcissism. You're starting to realize there is narcissism going on in the family. Maybe somebody is involved in witchcraft, different occultism, dark practices. It is time for you to go. It is time for you to go. Actually, you should have left as soon as yesterday. Okay? I don't know, maybe you want to walk, you want to crawl, but whatever it is you want to do should be designed for you to exit that system as soon as possible. If you do not do that, ladies and gentlemen, there is going to be some consequences and some things you're not even ready for. When these people were starting these practices, he wasn't there. A lot of these families are going to get involved in these kind of practices because there is something they want. And they are going to choose the easy way out. There is always the harder way to get things, but there's also sometimes the easy way to get things. And sometimes, if some people believe that they cannot walk the harder way, they are going to find an easy way to get things done. And sometimes it's going to include human sacrifice. These individuals will actually identify one member of the family, and that particular member of the family, two things are going to happen. Either they are going to actually murder that individual, unalive them, or they are going to actually murder their soul. You might have noticed that in some kind of those families, you're going to look at sometimes they're wealthy families. They are doing well, They have all these riches in the world they need. They have buildings, they have cars, they are driving different types of vehicles. But you're going to notice that there is one particular member in that family that may seem like that particular member is a zombie. In other words, they have already murdered that particular member's soul, and that person is inactive. Actually, that person is not spiritually aligned. Like I've said, this wasn't your problem. You didn't start this problem. You wasn't there. Yes, I know you might have lived most part of your life. You was not aware of these things. You have come to that understanding of what it is. You need to get out and go very far away from them. Go no contact. And you are not meant to return to those particular units. A lot of these individuals, why have I given you the story in the beginning? So many times you can find a family that is attempting to gain riches. They want to be the richest people in town. They want to be CEOs of certain companies. They want to be promoted to different positions. And most of the cases, those particular individuals, because they are involved in some dark practices, those individuals are going to summon certain deities to get that job done. But you see, those deities that they summon, those deities need something in return. Let me give you an example that usually I like to mention in my videos. You guys remember the story of Joseph. Joseph was a person who used to interpret dreams. In that family, members thought that this person was a problem, and they thought that they could get rid of Joseph. In other words, they even started to plan and to carefully construct Joseph's demise. But then they wanted their hands clean. So they didn't want it to appear like they have anything to do with that. So what they did, they secretly grabbed Joseph and took him on a trip. They reached the middle of the desert. They dug a hole and they left him in the pit because they knew that nobody would ever find him in that pit and he would actually rot away and die in that pit. Now, there is something I want you guys to understand as well. That is the same scenario that is going to happen in those kind of families. Anything that they do, they are not going to pretty much select just any member in the family because the particular deities or entities these people have summoned to get that job done, they are going to ask for specific members in that family. If you're the person that is the chosen one, you just need to understand you're going to be the biggest target for those kind of units. You may have a question as well as to why so many things, you have done so many attempts to get your life in shape, nothing has been working. There's members of the family who have done everything in their lives. They have gone ahead, married, gotten their businesses done and things like that. And they have just been going about the normal day. Everything has been okay. For you, nothing has been happening to work. In some case scenarios, you might even have some members of the family that have attempted to get you out of the way. The best way to look at this thing is both physically and spiritually. Physically, it may seem or it may appear as a particular hatred some members of the family have against you. Your father seems to be your biggest hater. There's nothing that you say is valid. There's nothing that you do is worth it. It feels like you're struggling and always you're fighting very hard to get your parents' attention, to no success. It's like nothing you're doing actually is able to impress that particular parent. That is because that particular parent has already despised you from the very beginning of time. The chosen one is going to be the number one choice. They are going to be the number one person that they're going to select for this kind of rituals. Like I've said, these people summon entities and they're supposed to perform some rituals. In one of those rituals they may perform, amongst others, there may be different rituals they may perform within the unit. Amongst other rituals, also, they may have summoned that entity to get something done, and that entity has asked them for a particular soul. So in other words, those people may be attempting to take your soul. It can be for their own benefits, like I've said. It can be they are trying to become wealthy, they want to be the most famous people in town, maybe they are campaigning for a certain position in government, and they want some things to be done and to go their way. And because of that, for them to achieve those particular things they have asked for from those particular entities, those entities have asked them for your soul. And again, it is not going to be every other member in the family. It is going to be one particular selected member in the unit. The member that they select for those kind of rituals are going to be the members that appear to be the chosen ones. They are going to be the members with the special anointing, because remember, your presence is already not welcome, even not only in that unit, but even somewhere else in society. Why? That is because your presence alone is a threat to the enemy. There's pretty much not much they can do when you're around. Their operations and business is going to be very difficult when you are around, because your light shines too bright for these entities. Now, if you have a person if you are the kind of person, for example, and there have been some attempts, maybe you remember one day when your father could have dragged you and dropped you off somewhere in the village. They forgot about you. Maybe they thought that you didn't belong, or they throw you somewhere, or maybe sometimes you have experienced different cases where somebody has attempted to poison you. Maybe something did to your car, or there's been an attempt to get you out of the way. What was really happening is that they wanted to analyze you because there is some things they have done behind the scenes that are not supposed to be known. And one of those things they have done, your soul was supposed to be sacrificed in those kind of projects so that they can get their way in whatever it is they have wanted with their lives. Now, in most case scenarios, like I've said, the chosen one is going to be the biggest target, okay? If sometimes it happens that there is nobody to sacrifice in the family, maybe there is no chance. It could be just a very small family, maybe 2 or 3 members. It could actually happen where they may actually try to do that thing outside of the family unit. In most case scenarios, these things are happening Number one, they can happen consciously, where actually these particular individuals, they do know what they are doing because they do know what they have done behind the scenes, even if they have not actually made it known to everybody in the unit. Or it could be a situation where they are doing things unconsciously. They just feel intuitively that they need to get you out of the way. For some mysterious reason, even some of them do not understand what is going on. In most cases, you can find a chosen person who is in the family, and they are the ones that are struggling the most. I've seen so many times in the comments, people are saying, oh, I don't know what is happening. It seems like nothing is working. I don't know. They cannot find a partner to get married. They are always on the, they are the last ones to leave the unit because they can simply not find somebody to get married. Nothing happens to be working for them. All the jobs they have done, they have pretty much done all the jobs, but it's like every job they get, it doesn't actually, they have got to get fired or they have got to get sent out of the way. So a lot of things are not happening for you because some people in that unit may have done something to your soul. They could have murdered your soul so many years ago because remember, again, this is also very important. The individuals you're dealing with, ladies and gentlemen, if you're the kind of person in these kind of family units, the individuals you're dealing with, the only thing you can identify is their face because you know what they look like. You can also, their name and you know who they are and what they do mean to you. They are your parents, mother, father, whatever it can, the list can go on and on and on. But spiritually, those individuals are dead. Actually, those individuals have very long time ago sold their soul to the devil. When you sell your soul to the devil, let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen, there's a lot of things you need to expect that you have got to do in return. The devil doesn't just come around and give you everything just open like that. The devil is not an open book whereby you're just going to come around and ask for things and you just go to get things done your way. There's other things they're going to ask in return. When I was waking up after narcissistic abuse, eventually I woke up having been involved in a narcissistic and dysfunctional family system. That is one of the things I realized, and I remembered exactly what had been happening since way back in time. I would now understand why so many things would never go my way. That is the moment I took a decision. I've done a video recently, and I've told you guys there is going to be a time you're going to make a decision. You are either going to choose you and walk away, or you are going to actually stay behind and get stuck in that similar stagnation. So most of the times, those kind of things are going to be common. Like I've said, it is going to be a common scenario for a chosen one. You have been selected and you have been chosen as the sacrificial lamb. Actually, I did a whole video, maybe probably 3 years ago, and I've told you the chosen one, the black sheep of the family, you have always been a sacrificial lamb. If they have not really gotten you out of the way, then there have been attempts to get you out of the way. And in most of the cases, the thing they need is to kill you spiritually. So in other words, you're not supposed to shine. Is the reason as to why most of the times you cannot talk about anything. Whenever you see something going on, you talk about it, you are going to become the problem. You are going to be actually scapegoated by your own family members. You are going to be punished for things you do not know nothing about. That is because you are dealing with individuals that have sold their soul many years ago. It was not your fault. You wasn't there in the beginning. You didn't create this problem. It is not a part of you to solve it. The only thing you can ever do for yourself as a chosen one is to walk away before things actually get worse for you. I don't know if this video makes sense for you guys. Like I've said, it may be a triggering video. Let us know what you think about it in the comment section below. You guys do know I do love and appreciate your support. Please book a session if you want to. You may donate or support my channel if you want to. Everything you need, you will find it in the description below. And until then, I will catch you guys in my next one. There's almost signing out. Much love and blessings. Peace.